Hi guys, how you going? Campbell here from Autodidactic Channel. Hope you are all having a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me, and today I thought we would have another look at Egypt, and it's an old book I found from 1795, and it shows a lot of mud flood evidence around the Sahara region and Egypt in general. So yeah, let's jump into it. You can see this is, not a natural shoreline. This is some kind of flow. Obviously down here, nothing's quite level. This is just a bit smashed, not too bad, but you can see it's got chips and things out of the building. We've got our nice Moorish doorway. And this building here, this is again in a star city, walled, 1795 in Africa, but that building is literally the same as all the buildings you see in all the ports. They're normally turned into custom houses and things like that. And this looks like you can see whatever it's made of, brick or whatever. And they just reface them, put a new facade on them. And yeah, dress them up, paint them, and suddenly they say, oh no, that's a new building. Take down the walls, and it's a customs house. The old magician's trick. Here you can see nice brick. So who was laying this brick? Who was making the cement? Who was making the bricks? And who was building foundations that just go straight down into the water? Oh, and here's a nice shot again. I mean, look at all this, the quality of this construction. This looks like a dam, or at least some kind of huge sort of bridge. Looks a little low. This guy might just make it through there. He wouldn't be wanting to try to get a ship through there now, would you? So totally impractical, but look at what it is. So obviously built, in conditions that were different to when this was drawn, or yeah, for some other purpose that we don't know of. And of course, look at this tower and just this huge Antiqua antenna on the top. Another one here exactly the same. This is just a star city with all the same, geometry, geomancy on the ground. The same funny angles that we see all time on an island. A bit more here, so it looks like this has been flooded, because look at this shoreline. Buildings again right on the shore, right around. So something's going on there, I would think. Oh, and spaceships. Spaceships, guys. Spaceships. Look at that. But how much does this look like a spaceship? Don't know what's up here, but you can see clearly something coming straight down here, connecting things up. And I mean, I don't know, what do you reckon? Is this ground level here? Where's the door? Oh, I'm thinking this is ground level. Can they get in there? Oh, obviously it's cut, but look at that. Is this, what's going on there? See, that looks like it's going underground. It looks like a rocket ship. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. This actually looks like construction. This grey stuff. Not sure what the level of that is, but it's very, very interesting pic. The Nile, showing all the melted cities that we now call mountains. And everyone's rushed forward to the water. And it's an interesting question, isn't it? How do you get all these mountains in deserts, in desert regions? There's not supposed to be rainfall, right? That's why they're deserts. So how are these mountains being shaped? Because you look at these mountains, erosion goes down, not sideways, so it's water erosion, not wind. So I haven't heard the explanation on that one yet. Again, what have we got here? Just bits and pieces. These are just layouts. Oh, see, if you're part of the system, you have to sleep in a square room, but if you're a free thinker, you get a round room. Yeah, a bit of a local scene here. Bit of farming going on, bit of animal abuse, raking the fields and getting the water. And these ducks, I mean, they are just not pulling their weight at all by the looks of it. Just up there, having a look, waiting for the poor cows to uncover their food. This is a boat, and it has masts. Oh, it has a little friend too. It has a baby. So Merkabah. This is Merkabah. He's got a very cool anchor. And look at these dudes. Guys, the boat is anchored. You do not need to stand there in the water holding the boat. It's just silly. Catch a cold. So this is obviously just the traditional. That is an interesting raft. Just the traditional. Oh, that's a praying mantis. Got the head here. And this is, yeah, a traditional raft. So obviously being shown the boats and things. Pretty cool. Interesting how it's in a triangle. So he's sitting on the small end. Yeah, okay. Well, kind of makes sense. Bit easier to steer and maneuver. Looks like we're just getting into a few plants here. This is a banana tree, banana plant, and of course this is our 1800s again. Bananas don't generally reproduce by seeds. As you know, if you throw a banana in the ground, it doesn't grow anything and you can't get the seeds out of them. So the way to transplant or to make new banana plants is you cut off these suckers. You've got to go down and get the roots off and transplant the whole plant. So how did banana plants end up in Africa and South America? Because, of course, the people with the letters behind their names tell us that there was no contact pre, the age of rediscovery. Here we have a tree that is growing on a wall, maybe, I'm not sure. But this bird seems to have, I don't know, is that a turtle shell? Whatever he's doing, he's not pulling his weight. The birds in Africa seem to be a bit lazy, really. Mosque. So here, mosque, I guess the dome. Again, towers. Oh, okay, I think that's a covered boat. It's a boat with like a tent on it. And just, yeah, mud, devastation, lack of plant life, and just a dome sticking up out of the ground. A huge building and a huge tower. Because that's what you do, when you're a subsistence, fisherman, when you're not working 18 hours a day to feed yourself and your family, you go off and you build this kind of stuff, just randomly. Make sure it's not level. When you finish it, throw a bit of dirt against the wall, and always make sure it's down on the water, because that's, of course, where you get the strongest foundations. Alright, looks like this guy's had enough of these lazy birds. And he's taking a bit of action. And of course, just, huge buildings everywhere. Walls, walled cities. Just all over Africa in 1800. Oh, and, a few man-made canals as well, because man-made canals, again, that's what you build in a place like the Sahara. A place that they tell us has been a desert for, what, 10,000 years, they say? Yeah, you build canals. And I guess if you're rich enough, you buy the water to fill them. Because clearly they tell us there was no rainfall down there. The Sphinx and the Sphinx enclosure, it's just trying to be cool, looking like it's got water erosion, guys. It's not really. No water in the Sahara. Just man-made canals, towers with Antiquitech, big, what is this, something, domes, and all looking again massive compared to these people. And here we have two obelisks, the twin poles. As you can see, these birds, they don't seem to be the same. No, they're different birds, and they're facing each other. As down here, You can see this Ankh, this whole thing's been reversed. So it's looking at each other. Of course, we've got our scarab beetle with its sun in its cartouche. And I'm not sure what this says, but Costa de Miti and Costa de Nord. So I'm guessing male, female, positive, negative, with twin poles. Of course, we've got on the top the little Antiquitech capstones. And I'm not sure. I'm going to have to do some reading up. You can actually learn how to read Egyptian hieroglyphs from Welsh. So there you go. Mr. Liedke, if you are listening, if you are fluent in Welsh, you may be able to decipher this this stuff. There's a channel that gets into it. I'll leave the link below if you want to check it out. It's called Scottish History or Our History or something, but I'll leave the link. Because, yeah, what does all this say? Is this talking about what this device is and what it does, or what you need to do to turn it on, or, you know, are they always out in the open because they need the sun as an activator? And the scarab is a representation of something, and down here we have the twin pillars. I mean, all the information's out there, and I've said this before, it's all out there. They just hide it from us. We just got to learn to, or not learn to, we've just got to find it and, yeah, decipher it. Okay, so this looks like a Chinese guy. But again, we're supposed to be in Egypt. So this is Machine de Terror. Talking about the ground. They've blindfolded the poor old cow. And he's just walking around in circles. Turning something. So he's not crushing anything. What he's doing is turning this cog here. So there's something underneath, underground here. No, okay, so here we have the pyramids of Memphis. And I'm not sure why it says Memphis, because as you can see here on this map of Egypt, Memphis is actually on the other side of the Nile and quite a bit down from Giza. And the pyramids are at Giza, not Memphis. So I'm not sure what's going on there, if there were more pyramids, or if, you know, the names have been changed, if the Nile's changed its course a bit recently, I don't know. But yeah, it says Memphis pyramids, but today we have the Giza pyramids. Why are there four? We should have the Great Pyramid and two others. So I don't know what this small one is, or what happened to it in the last couple of 100 years. Look at the land level here, guys. Look at that. Literally, they've had to build a big causeway to get up to the doorways, and even across here it's all covered. The Sphinx is that it there? Covered up to its neck. Everything just covered. One road going in to this big old world city. Probably, what is it, Memphis, Cairo. And out here a huge temple, and another one here, and just going straight into the mountain. Yeah, right, covered up much? And isn't it funny that we call it, you know, covering things up? They've covered it up. It seems like everything literally got covered up. Separate Egypt and Libya. Okay, what's this, around the border or something? Again, sorry, that's as far as it's wanting to go in. And we see the Belt of Orion here, three main pyramids. Sphinx, I think. Does that say Leon? Sphinx Temple, all the causeways. And I mean, even in this drawing, just look at the different heights in the land level. You can always see that there's clearly stuff buried under here. And again, how did these all form if there's no water running? So they probably tell us they all formed thousands of years ago when there was water, and then nothing has changed in the last 10,000 years. Static mountains. So here's a nice depiction of, I don't know, is that an aqueduct in Africa? It's a bit of nice work. Ooh. Again, this looks like underground tanks. And these arches looking a bit low. You know, was this the original floor level? Because the tops of these are coming up. What is that? So here's the, oh, okay, so this is showing you the path of an aqueduct, I believe. And this is the aqueduct, how it was built down here. So we have this part, and maybe that's showing us this part. They're tanks or something. Who knows? Aqueducts in Africa, 1800. And of course, the Sphinxy Winksy, carved up to its neck, broken nose, very carved face, looking very feminine there, isn't it? These guys are having a chat. Yeah, no, mate, it's all right. $50 on a carton, and I'll dig that out for you. Oh wow, look at the headdress looking very sunbursty there, isn't it? The Sphinx not looking so sure of what's about to happen. You know, even they've drawn the way they've drawn the pyramids. You can just see it's a bit dishevelled. Whoa, dude. The old denosing, of course, that's something that we see a lot of. The pyramid from above, of course. Just wondering what that is. Because, of course, these are actually 8-sided. Because each of the sides are actually concaved. So there's actually 2 sides on each side that we see, making 8. Here's a plan of the pyramids. That would be the King's Chamber. What are they calling it? Measures of the faux portal on face. Pretty sure that's how the King's Chamber's set out. Faux portal. Okay, well here we go. And again, look at that. Looks like a rocket ship, doesn't it? So here we have the stairways going under the ground, into the belly. We have the heart here. King's Chamber, Queen's Chamber, the entrance. And, I'm sure there's more in there. I've wondered all my life, why would you build something this big and only be able to access these little bits? Of course, if it's a machine, that may be to hold in pressures and things, which would make more sense. But as far as what they're telling us it doesn't make any sense at all. And of course, they have never ever found a mummy, skeleton, or dead body of a human in any pyramid. Here's just a few features of the pyramid. So I'll leave the link to this book in the description, guys. A few more of the features. Oh, what's that? Yeah, I'll leave the link so that you can have a look through this yourself at your own pace. Why not? So a bit of Egyptian art. Got our falcon heads here in cartouches. And these guys are looking, I suppose we're in Africa. They look kind of Arabian. They look very Caucasian though, don't they? But dressed like, what we're told is kind of Arabian or Islamic or something like that. Building a mast, I think, there for their boat. Kitty cat watching. And a random pyramid. Looks like this guy is sowing pyramid seeds, and in the summer he's going to grow some more. Oh. And see, that chunk was worth drawing in a book in 1800. So how much did we lose? Where is it all? What happened to it? Wow. This looks like the Tree of Life cartouche. That it's very sort of reminiscent of that Anunnaki scene, isn't it? Tree of Life in the background with small people. So here again, some more pyramid stuff. This one now, I don't know what pyramid this is. Let's take a look. Oh, okay, this is just the different types. Because I was looking at this passageway thinking, hang on, that should be just off the ground level. But I think that's just a representation of a slightly wonky pyramid. I guess this is a very basic step pyramid. And this is, you know, like a stupa, what we'd call a stupa, which really, I believe they are tops of things, not standalone, you know, structures or pyramids. Looking at also a lot like kilns, aren't they? They look a lot like kilns. So is that a repurpose? So we turn them all into kilns, or are they? Is that where all the red brick came from? Here we go, pyramids again. All right, bit of a map here showing all the islands, which you always get islands in the canals of the old world star cities. And of course, got Fiat. And here we have some pics of, look at this pyramid. It looks like a pyramid, then it suddenly goes up square and it looks like it's got levels. Very, very buried. Down here we have another old, and the top's been taken right off it. And of course, you know, mud flowing out into the water. Is this water? This guy being towed across on a log by his cow. Because that's what it looks like. So here you go. Devastation and Mud Flood. So smashed walls, half buried. Like, look at this land. It's just completely inundated. Look at the levels here. No, you know, here's one tree, but no plant life really. And a lot of birds. Not sure why. But you can see even here they're showing plants growing out and they're just sort of showing it overgrown and disheveled. But clearly it's all in good nick still. It's all very structurally sound, the big buildings. Apart from this bit maybe. More random temples sticking out of the ground, out of this very layered ground. Now, I don't know what this is trying to depict, but looks like devastation to me. Look at all these different, like, what's this bit? Is that a wall that's been smashed, or a bit strange? And here's a nice map of a part of the Nile showing a very nice man-made canal coming off it. There's another shot showing the mud flood. Someone's run out of lead pencil or something at this point. Didn't quite finish this drawing, but again showing us these towers everywhere. With the Antiquitech, that almost looks like an eagle. And the domes. And of course here's somehow, oh god, look at the lines on that. Looks a bit like the structure on Epstein's Island, doesn't it, with the dome there? Not good. And of course we always get the oases, don't we? These big oases in the middle of the desert. So in the middle of the biggest desert in the world, the driest area, we get these areas, and they're quite big, where we have these huge, you know, lakes or whatever you want to call them, ponds, waterways, and fertile areas. They're big fertile areas. You can grow your plants there, and they're just these little, trapped areas in the middle of a desert. So how does that happen? You know, seriously, I mean, it does not happen by having a desert and some seeds somehow ending up randomly in a place, and somehow miraculously they get watered enough to grow and grow and grow, and then they attract water. No. What would happen is you would have a forest and it dried out, and you have some bits, you know, where the water can sit and stay, that can sustain their sort of small local ecology. So I mean, the Sahara was definitely a rainforest. We know that. The only question is the time frame. Nice big wall here, road or something. Again, mud flood devastation. Just, you know, look at the level here compared to this. Yeah, the tops of these are the same. Columns. The winged disc, I'm guessing that is, but it looks like we've got the two snakes here. Winged disc. Just complete mud flood devastation in 1800 in northern Africa. And a few more pics of what they found. Buildings, nice It's a rhombus shape. And again, just looking too short. Look at this shoreline. And smashed. Ruins of Karnak. Here again, this looks like an old aqueduct. And a smashed city right on the water. So is that alright? Maybe it's not an aqueduct. It looks like it might have a corner there. Don't know. It doesn't look to have enough columns to be like a Parthenon type thing. Maybe it is an aqueduct, and of course towers and huge buildings. Because in a desert, there's so much sand that of course you'd be making bricks non-stop, right? Because bricks are made from clay. Whoops. Yeah, just here we go. Progression of columns. Columns that are longer. Facade. So the queue for the travelers. So this is all smashed stuff. I'm not sure why they're calling this facade, but here we go. Twin pillars. Twin pillars with the arc. It's all the same. It's all the same. Oh wow, that's a nice one. Buried statue. I haven't seen that before. Cartouches on the shoulders. Of course, the nose is gone. This one looks like it's been hit in the head by something. Of course, that could be a cone head. Twin obelisks, pillars, again, twins, doorway, flying disc. Everything's so symmetrical, and then just covered in mud and smashed and left for us to figure out. A few of the different styles. Again, here's this, I don't know, is it Phoenician? I don't know if that, retrofitted or this leafage, or like I said before, I'm just wondering if it's got something to do with representing that this is wood. And I'm going to have to get into that at some point. The old paper rock melted question. And again, here we go. Is this showing something underground? Okay, this is a floor plan. What is that? Are they just the tops of pillars? Like literally just sticking out of the ground. That's what it looks like. And here we've got some towers. This one's got a room in the top. I don't know, is that the same? Pratique admirable ancient Thebes. So this must be the temple. The temple, they tell us everything is a temple. They tell us the temple is outside of us and made of bricks. They forget to tell you that you have a temple on each side of your head. And what sits in the temple is your connection to the all, the pineal. Look at these buildings. Seriously. And at the top we've got this melted sort of looking mountain thing, and these just literally go into the mountainside. And look at the contours, and this is just a drawing, obviously. I've got some people having a bit of a discussion down here. We want horses. And yeah, these guys, again, twins at the entrance, symmetrical. Here we have our pillars. We have something smashed here that was going into this, whatever this used to be. Yeah, I mean, and looking, the Colossus at Rhodes, we always hear of these massive statues, but why? What's the deal with them? What do they mean? What's the plan, Stan? Okay, so just some perspective. He's like, dude, you want me to move this? Look how big that is. And he's like, well, look at the men on the side. They're just putting their backs into it. So what's happened here? I mean, this almost looks like this was the old way that it worked. This is all the tech. Do this, and then they're like, what? No, we can't work that out. We're just going to get two dudes with ropes and walk around in circles. Actually, these look like the lotus sort of depiction, what they call, the blue lotus. This not so much, because it doesn't have the petals. See how they look a little bit different there than they do here, but What's that representing? Why are they tying the stems of lotuses around here? Ah, yeah, someone stole these guys' heads. Oh, okay, looks like they're lying in the ground, some of them. So just again, total devastation. Look how thick these walls are. You know, same Florida, you know, the same tops. This is Egypt. So the same designs in Europe, just on a smaller scale. Most of Egypt, Kemet, is pretty supersized. Here's a plan of a few more buried temples they've found. Here's a nice temple, again, completely buried. Sun disk. And the plan. And these are obviously very intricate architectural plans and schematics with heights and elevations, stresses, materials needed. All that kind of stuff is sadly lacking from any plan, anything to do with construction that any of us have been able to find. There's just none of it. You get this, which is clearly someone going in, measuring the outside, measuring the inside, building out that little grid of where the columns are and filling in the circles. That's it. And he probably called himself an architect or an architect from again, just more buried buildings. This place is just completely buried, devoid of any kind of vegetation. So, you know, what were these guys eating who built these things? Where's the food source? This is becoming a very familiar sight. Things poking out of the tops of so-called mountains. You know, walls all the way down, different structures popping out at different levels. We're starting to see this everywhere. Very much like, and there was an attack. We've been attacked. I don't think this melting is, you know, a natural phenomenon. To me, it looks extremely like dew. Obviously took out a lot more areas, but a lot of it's pretty precise as well when you look at the actual buildings themselves today, the close-ups of where the melting is. It's not like a bomb, it's not like an explosion. Here we go, 2 pillars, look at that, very nice. Just sticking out because they want to. Doors randomly going into a hillside. And see this, what we're told is rock. Is that something else? Is that petrified wood? What's that? That's randomly, what? And again, the levels, that's just, and then Star City. Right on the coast, look at all these levels here. This looks like a close-up of that rock. Now this, again, looking very, you can see, you know, very man-made. You can see all the striations and lines across here. This, right angles carved out. Got this stepped effect here. And this, again, that, you know, that could, is that a piece of wood? Just when you look at the way it's sort of worn, is that wood that's been broken and petrified? Just because how else did it get to be sitting on top of this, whatever this is? Another shot of doors going into hills. Maybe they were all just hobbits and not very good at facading. See along here, what's this? Just, you know, all smashed up down into the, right on the water. So the water levels have obviously changed again here, carved into what we would be told that's carved into a mountain. Now, if you know, if you can build this, because that's built, that's a win. You know, this is built. You couldn't really argue that fact. If you could build that, why would you then go here and dig into a mountain? You know, societies, you know, traditionally have a building method. They don't just go, oh, build with bricks here, dig into the ground there. Here's some. Okay, so we've got 4 women, and looks like there's 2 Phoenicians, and they're Starkers, and they're like, yeah, just be Starkers, and they're like, oh no, gotta cover up. Naughty Phoenicians. Some big glyph. Again, just, I mean, this is just getting silly, isn't it? Just everything's just flooded out. And everything is, this is just really, you know, supersized Greco, you know, what we're told is Greco-Roman. It's just all the same. Again, devastation, bricks right on the water, like literally into the water. But see these uprights? You know, this is looking not natural. Melted, smashed in, and this building's obviously been destroyed. I'm not sure what's going on here with this rock. Is that a doorway? Are these symbols? Oh, there's even carvings on these rocks. So, I mean, they've really trashed what was in the Sahara. You know, just random domes, random temples, half buried. Look at this down here, way under the ground, sticking up here. So, I mean, just there, you've got 3 different levels at least. And here again, we have this theme of, you know, water on each side. This looks like a man-made structure because this looks like they've drawn brick in. Bits popping out the top. So how much is under our feet? Again, we've got the serpents, which seem to sort of be similar to eagles and things. Electricity, wings open, some different columns here, different facades. Here we have from the age of Taurus with a stylized sun disk. Stylized sun disk above the head. A few more down here. So again, are these? Is this looks like a palm tree, of course, but is this all just for look, for show, or is there actually a purpose to it? Are these ones, you know, running roundways? See how they all go sideways? These are, I don't know. You know, have they just made the tech look really cool? Yep, just sailing down the Nile and you see this. And here's another pic. Here we have our very detailed architect's plans. And here's the temple going straight into this hill or mountain or whatever they want to tell us it is. You can see the edge here. Brick's been a bit destroyed, but yeah, straight into the hill. But when you've got plans like this, you know, this kind of construction, pretty simple stuff. Okay, here we have a side view. So this is underground, underneath it. We have like a whole, is that a roof? Yeah, we have a whole building down here underneath all this. So that's under all these hills. As we know, it's all buildings. You can see in here we've got pillars and stuff. Again, just running straight into the ground. Or into, you know, the melted old world buildings, you know, just melt. I don't know. They'll destroyed, plasmatized, whatever happened. And the way it's looking, I mean, you know, it looks like the plasma event. I think the plasma event came first and then the mud flood. I'm going to do a video on this, but and then obviously we had people coming back out. The sort of release was sort of mid 1800s. Because yeah, there's a few things I'm picking up on, you know, like cobblestone paved streets next to mud flooded buildings. How did that happen? It means they've been paved, and the old world lamps been put in after the mud flood. So yeah, I need to look into that more. Smashed dome. Oh my gosh, it's just all the same. Architectural plans, and here we have some. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously we've got all this old world in the background. We've got broken obelisks and pyramids, and there's a sphinx, domes, and this looks like a Phoenician with her rod of power and a bag of flowers. Always with the flowers and the plant life and the leaves. And here we have again a mer horse trying to be ridden by a couple of mermaids, or the kid's been left behind. He's like, Mummy! Oh, that dude got a top knot. Don't know. And they like their funky hats, don't they? LL. Is that LL Cool J from back in the day? Got a, is that a sphinx? I guess it's the sphinxes have wings. What are they called? It's not a Pegasus. And here we have our Phoenician sitting on his plant, of course, riding a lion. So who are the lions? Who did they defeat? You know, you see this a lot. They seem to have defeated the lions and then taken them over and pretended to be them, basically. So, you know, is that Lion of Judah? Of course, all this flourity stuff. And these shapes, they love this shape, don't they? Oh, okay, this is the guy from Starbucks with the snake legs and snake fingers. So this looks like it's just the ending. The Phoenicians showing off how weird they can get with their artwork. You know, little devils down here with bells hanging off them. You know, skeletons and necromancy. And of course, old world stolen tech. Look at this one. And of course, you know, this is what they tell us is the Islamic crescent moon. Of course, it's not. It's part of Antiquitech. It's just a shape. A star here, got a ball. And just devastation. Okay, so this is, yeah, the portico, the portal. Standing in the portal, we've got, who is that? Some Phoenician hairy dude, naked, bit gross. Old world. And this person who just looks, yeah, Egyptian, got lots of stuff on, looks like they're covered in Antiquitech, and they're standing in their portal. And above here we have the wings and the flying disc. You know, and that seems to be the Egyptian stylized version of all the eagles and the cherubs as well. I think cherubs are also in this picture to do with electricity. Here we go, lots of scrolling, lots of weird animal stuff. Here we have our pyramids. Here we have a nice sphinx. And just some toppled over old world statues. Of course, the, you know, six-pointed star, Star of David. In 3D, it's the star Merkabah, or the star tetrahedron. Very interesting symbol. You see it everywhere, as above, so below. Obviously, it's two inverted pyramids as well. Yeah, this thing's everywhere. And in the middle, what does it make? But a pentagon, and so inside you can actually fit the same geometry. And look at this, it looks like they just had all these sarcophagi like just lying around the place in the dirt. And what were these really? Yeah, I mean, why would you go to the point, you know, of making all this, you know, all the work, all the effort, all the materials to make these, you know, gold ornate sarcophagi for someone who's going to be dead? I mean, at some point you just end up with all these, you know, sarcophaguses that you can't use. You know, were there something else? Were there some kind of, you know, energizing capsule? Who knows? Reanimating, because obviously they're connected with the Book of the Dead and everything. Very stylized, very jeweled, always made out of precious metals and things. He's a Phoenician and he really likes his column. And here are some Phoenician girls getting their gear off again. This guy's playing the guitar. So maybe he's getting them to dance. And dance for me. Okay, so here we have, yeah, some of the Chimeric Kings. So we have just this, looks like a person. Got the scepter. Got the scythe here, falcon-headed. And this is a falcon, so this is a person. This is a person with a falcon head. So this is like 1, 2, and this is the mix of these two. And they're all balancing. Well, she's not. These two are balancing water jugs on their head. And she's just got a little bird. And of course, more weird, serpentine type of depictions, of course, with the plant life. What is with all the plants and the foliage? Here we have a crocodile, alligators, Nile. No, I think they're crocodiles, aren't they, in the Nile? Yes. I think they are. This big trumpet, this angry dog. And it's Noah and his wives. Maybe not, but someone being rowed across the water by, obviously by very small people, much smaller than they are, because they can fit in this boat. Alright, so there you go, guys. The book seems to have finished. So a bit of a walk there, just a bit of a look through Egypt, North Africa in 1795, and yeah, there seems to be a lot of stuff, definite mud flood evidence everywhere. And this question of underground tunnels and reservoirs, were they keeping water down there? Because you saw the pictures, big tanks around, they're using cows and things and chains to pump stuff up. So yeah, what's down there? How did they know it was down there? Is it still there and functioning? Do people still know about this? Is this now being used by the parasites for, that stuff that we really don't want to talk about? What's going on? Because obviously if it's full of water under the Sahara, they may have had all this sorted and had the infrastructure in before the desert dried out. But then, of course, they got hit again with a second wave of invasion. And that's another thing. I mean, we have been invaded. If you're wondering what's going on, we've been invaded by parasitic entities, commonly known as archons, but that's a story for another video. So I hope you like that little wander through our old world. Thanks for spending some time with me, guys, and I'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.